Hey, Lord of the Rings fans, welcome back to another episode of the Map of Beleriand. This time we'll be discussing the dwellings of men. Now, I start all my videos off by saying, this is a map of Beleriand. Beleriand was the westernmost part of Middle Earth during the First Age, but at the end of the First Age, it was sunk into the sea. You ready? All right, let's get into it. Men first awoke at the beginning of the First Age at the rising of the sun, but they awoke far, far into the east in a place known as Hill Dorian. And so eventually they gathered up their things and they traveled west and they came through Middle Earth and then they came over the Blue Mountains. Now there were three different groups of men: the House of Beor, the House of Hador, and the House of Haleth. Together they are known as the Edain. But we'll start off with the House of Beor. They were first over the Blue Mountains and they came into Beleriand and were discovered by Finrod Felagund, and they struck up a great friendship with him. And at first he bequeathed them the lands of Estelad right here to live in. They stayed there for a while, and then eventually he got them the land of Dorthonion to live in, where it says Tarnufuan, but that's after the name was changed. So they lived there amongst his kin, and he was something like a lord to them. They lived with his brothers there, and he graced that land to them, and that's where the people of Beor live. Next over the mountains were the people of Hador. They were a very tall, warlike people, and they were very brave, and they came over the mountains, and the elves in Hiflum, Fingolfin and his son Fingon, the Noldor elves, actually heard of them, and they said, hey, we want to strengthen our war against Morgoth. So, they kind of summoned them and said, hey, you can live amongst us, you know what I'm saying, in the northwest. So they travel northwest, the people of Hador, and they settle in Hiflum, and they are eventually bequeathed the land of Dorlomin here. So Fingolfin and Fingon bequeathed the land of Dorlomin to the people of Hador, the House of Hador. So we have the people of Beor, the House of Beor that lives in Dorthonion, and then the people of Hador that live in Dorlomin. Now, last over the mountains were the group or the House of Haleth, and they had it the worst, okay? They had it the worst because they got into a big fight here, and then after that was over, they actually were offered land in Thargelion by Caranthir, but they rejected it and they went to Estelad for a little bit. And then Haleth, their leader, said, you know what, we're going to travel westward. And they traveled, oh my God, through Nandan Gortheb. They traveled through Nandan Gortheb and eventually ended up in the forest of Brethil. Now, this land was given to them by Finrod Felagund, but since it was a part of Doriath, he really didn't have a right to give it to him, but he got grace for them to live in Brethil from Thingol. Thingol did not like humans. He didn't want anything to do with them, but he got them that land, grace to them. The last group of people that we didn't talk about were the Easterlings. They really didn't have a settled abode, but they ended up living in Dorlomin and Hiflum after Morgoth won the fifth battle and gave them that land. So there you go.